Good morning, everyone. This is your Frontier Opening Bell. It's Tuesday, the 10th of December. What do we have on the radar for you? Just a quick run through the first trading day of the week, Monday. The Nigerian market was down by 11 basis points. And that, of course, was due to the pullback in some of the sectors, industrial goods, banking, insurance, as well as consumer goods, Nigerian breweries down. So you did look at the market starting on the back footing as investors piled a lot of trading activities into government securities. We're seeing investors binging on Nigeria's short-dated government securities on the back of the recently concluded $2.2 billion Eurobond. So that's the big story. News coming in that Eurobond, Nigeria's Eurobond is now priced lower at about 9% a yield. The BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire was down by 0.1%. That's on the composite, 275.13. The Egyptian stock market holding the tail coast of 31,000 down by 18 basis points to start the rest of the week in the region in North Africa. Nairobi stock market 0.77% gain. On Monday, we saw gains on some of the listed securities and heavy trading on the shares of Kenya Reinsurance, Safaricom, and a few others. Then you have, of course, got the GSE, the biggest equity exchange on the continent, up by 0.81%, and that's costing home strongly above the 87,000 level on the all share index. And those are your market numbers for yesterday. Ghana stock market was 0.66% negative, despite the news of the re-election of former President John Mahama to lead the country forward as President Nana Akufo-Addo leaves office in a matter of days. Let's take a what else do we have on this morning? We got news from Seplat Energy listed on the Nigerian exchange and the London Stock Exchange publishing the prospectus of its acquisition about $800 million of the Mobil Producing Nigeria Unlimited. The Seplat Energy says it's gotten the approval from the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, and now the prospectus have been published, which shows details of the transaction. That transaction, which gives Seplat Nigeria access to the onshore assets of Mobil Producing Nigeria Limited, will be completed on December 12th, according to the notice published overnight by the Seplat Energy. Then, of course, the prospectus also have details of a few other transaction milestones. The full payment of the asset purchase will be sometime next year. Regulatory fees, transaction costs, and all that, and you can read up the details out there. But let's first touch on with East African and Central Africa, where Tanzania is looking to acquire land for the Dar es Salaam's bus transit expansion, a major project under President Samia Suluhu Hassan. In the meantime, Kenya is looking to expand coffee and tea exports. The idea is to spur increase FX inflows into East Africa's biggest economy. Kenya Revenue Authority, however, says it's posted 4.3% growth in 5 months. We got news this morning that Kenya's economy growth for this year has been revised downwards on the back of the deadly protests that met the Finance Act bill of 2024 just a couple of months ago. So Kenya's GDP growth for this year is being revised lower, and that, of course, will come from the revenue side of things. Climate Investment Fund, according to news sources, the board has approved Ethiopia's $500 million nature plan. Keep those headlines in mind. Let's move to West Africa. Talk about Seplat a bit earlier. Nigerian currency, the naira is recovering strongly, now getting about 1,500 as a new handle on the back of the latest electronic FX margin transaction platform that's put in place by the Central Bank of Nigeria. And of course, again, the softening a bit on the US dollar side, which makes the price of oil and price of gold to go on the upside. And Seplat Energy says it's acquired Equinor Nigeria for $1.2 billion, while the African Development Bank and the Trade Development Bank says they've put pen to paper for $150 million trade finance facility, and that's some good news. And the ADF, which is concessionary financing arm of the African Development Bank Group, says it's given about $80 million in support for that road project between Guinea and Senegal within the West African region. And let's take it all the way down to Southern Africa, where the governor of the South Africa Reserve Bank, Leseja Kgako, says in an environment of uncertainty, you need to tread cautiously. And that's speaking to what the outlook will be on interest rate decisions by the South Africa Reserve Bank into the new year after taking 25 basis point haircuts twice this year. In Mozambique, gas exports up 33% year on year in the first half. News also in that Total Energies is ready to go back into Mozambique and continue with our project, $20 billion mega gas project, which has been hobbled by Islamic militant insurgency in the northern corridor of the country. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, however, left her interest rates unchanged at 35%, looking for some soft ways to support the ambitious economic forecasts, a budget of the government. The finance minister, about a week or two ago, presented next year's budget to the parliament, outlining about 6% GDP growth for Zimbabwe for the new year 2025. In the meantime, Zambia and France said they've got some sort of agreements on the bilateral trade restructuring for the struggling Zambian economy, no thanks to drought occasioned by climate change. And finally, in that region, the president of Zimbabwe, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, and his counterpart in Botswana, President Boko, will be visiting the headquarters of the Southern African Development Community, the SADC headquarters, on December 13th. That's next week. You want to follow that up? Let's get some soundbite from there and what they're talking about. And finally, in North Africa, Egypt and Qatar, the cities discussing economic cooperation at the ongoing Doha Forum. In the meantime, Egypt's unemployment rate down to 5.6%, according to the Prime Minister. In Morocco, rail operators are looking for $8.8 billion funding for expansion of rail projects in the country, while Libya says it signed several trade memorandum of understanding with Tunisia. And that's keeping it within the North African corridor. Those are some of your headlines, very bright and early on Frontier Opening Bell, Tuesday, the 10th of December. Do have a great day, everyone. I am Bosin Omafai. I'll see you back on the show very soon.